This is TEDxBath.
This is TEDxBath Countdown.
This is TEDxBath Countdown.
We're here to discuss climate change.
To take action.
To tackle the climate emergency.
This is TEDxBath Countdown.
I'm Andrew Grant. I'm a landscape architect and a resident of Bath, and the chair of the Bioscape Landscape Partnership. Bioscape is about protecting the future landscape and ecological setting of this World Heritage Site. It's about adapting this amazing landscape framework that we have here to support the future lives, the future working, the future beauty of this amazing place. We've got to stop looking at landscape as just something that is pretty to look at. Landscape is our life support system. It creates our air, energy, it creates food, it provides our water. Let's think of it in those terms and not just a sort of a scenic backdrop. Cities should be doing an awful lot more to create green spaces. In this country alone, we've lost a huge percentage of the green space in cities just in the last 10 years. We need to be putting that in reverse and actually really sort of starting to thread green infrastructure, green spaces that provide all of these life support system benefits to us all the way through our cities, linking our countryside to the heart of the cities, which is basically what we have here in Bath, this amazing infrastructure that we can use more effectively and more efficiently if we start to think of it in a different way. I think Bathscape has started to reveal that actually Bath is a landscape city. If you start thinking of this place not as some buildings, but it's actually a landscape on which buildings have been placed, you start to think of it in a different way. You start to think of it from the natural patterns, the natural systems, the ecology, out towards the buildings. And I think it's inverting the way we think about the world is a really important part of the transformation of going forward. Cities of the future need to respond to their geographical locations and be much more responsive to their environment rather than this sort of global, sort of cookie-cutter approach to what a city looks like. We're lucky here, we've got Bath, which is unique, responding in a unique way to its environment, its topography, its ecology. And going forward, I want to see that be sustained, and we start to think about Bath as a landscape city, where we think about not just its beauty and its topography, but the way the ecology works, the way we as humans enjoy that, how we sustain ourselves from it, not just from the water and the food, but actually our mental health, how we appreciate that, how we come into these places and actually enjoy them together. These are all the threads, I think. And I think just going back to the idea of a landscape city concept, if we invert the way we think about cities and imagine cities structured around engagement with nature, so that every moment that you are passing through or experiencing a city, you have some relationship with the natural world. I think that will be a transformational change in the way planning of cities works. I think we've forgotten how to be humans. It's very interesting, the idea that pre-industrial revolution and the rapid transformation of cities around the world, we were probably much more attuned to the natural seasons, the patterns, the life around us, and responding to that in our own individual ways. Not just, once again, it's not just about survival, it's about our mental response to those places too. How we would be attuned to the world around us. And I think modern cities and the way we live has basically put a shield around us that's created this barrier in a way between how we live and nature. And I think fundamentally we need to break that barrier and reconnect people with the natural world. Landscape architects come as a project through an understanding of that place. And that place is not just the buildings, it starts with the ground, the soil, the geology, the water, the drainage, what lives on that, the trees, the shrubs, the diversity of habitats, and then how humans actually engage with that. So that we take that into every one of our projects, which can be anything from a major international park project in Singapore all the way through to a local little project here in Bath, something like Forest of Imagination, for instance, where we explore the concepts of nature with local people, with school children, with university students, with adults, and investigate what it means. What's our relationship with the natural world in this place, in this city, at this moment in time, and how can we use our imagination to think differently about that? There's a lot of things that are already happening which show how we can really make a difference and sort of respond to these emergencies. For instance, in the sort of nature conservation world, across the UK, we're establishing a nature recovery network, which is connecting all the sort of wildlife pockets to allow the species, the natural species of our country to start to work more efficiently as an ecosystem, as they should be doing. We have new ideas coming out which are really interesting and challenging, like E.O. Wilson and his half-Earth theory. How do we share the planet with other species, half for us, half for the other? Businesses can change through the way they operate, through the way they procure their goods, the way they engage with the wider world, and through specific actions of coming together, like Construction Declares, for instance, which are the whole range of the construction industry coming together around common manifestos, which is about let's address the climate and ecological emergencies through the work we do. So there's many ways that companies can engage with this and set some leadership. Green energy is already making a difference in terms of the way we're adopting solar power, wind power. These are just free resources that we're starting to understand we can use in a really fundamental way to supply our energy needs. At the same time, there's pressures on other energy supplies from different parts of the world, whether it's people starting to try and sell us palm oil or things that are actually destructive to the natural environment. So we've got to find a balance. What's the right way to do this? My one message to everybody would be to think, act, live as if you're a part of nature and not separate from it. It's not too late at all for people to get involved with this. In fact, it's essential that everybody starts to engage with this big issue. Together we can do something amazing. It's already starting to happen in different parts of the world. We just need that momentum to keep going and to grow and to be amazing.